Batman vs. Superman is the second film in the DCEU, and I guess technically the sequel to Man of Steel. It was released in 2016, directed by Zack Snyder, and stars Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill, Amy Adams, Jesse Eisenberg, and a few others. And it tells the story of a feud between Batman and Superman, as Batman holds Superman responsible for the destruction in Metropolis, in the events of Man of Steel. And yeah, Lex Luthor, quote unquote Lex Luthor, basically just pits them against each other. Man, that's just the gist of this movie, because fuck is there a lot going on in this one. Okay. I don't know how Zack Snyder fans are going to think about this review, but before I get into my thoughts, let's get into my positives, because there are a few. The action scenes. The action scenes are fucking awesome, especially the ones involving Batman. The warehouse scene in particular is fucking awesome. It is badass. It kind of plays into a problem I have with Batman in this movie, but the scene was done so good I could actually let it slide just for that moment, because it was actually pretty well done, and the fight choreography was absolutely fantastic. Ben Affleck's performance. Ben Affleck is the best part of this movie. I thought he was fantastic as Bruce Wayne / Batman. I thought he definitely did the dramatic parts really well. He sold the action pretty fucking awesome. He was definitely the best part of this movie. He really made Batman pretty cool, despite a major problem I have with his character. Some of the visuals are outstanding, and there are a handful of scenes that I thought were absolutely amazing. Like the scene where Bruce Wayne is running into that rubble trying to save somebody as that building was collapsing. That shit is fucking that shit was exhilarating. There are how can I describe it? There are scenes that show greatness in this film. Also, the musical score, for the most part, I really liked. So, despite the few positives I have with this movie, I'm really not a fan of this one. Yes, Snyder fans, bring that angry mob to me. I know this movie has gotten a huge cult following over the years, but I'm with the critics on this one. This is not a good film. The extended cut is a bit better, but it doesn't save much of this movie. Let's get into it, shall we? Let's get the biggest elephant out of the room. Lex Luthor. God damn. Who fucking thought it was a good idea to cast Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor? His performance was unbelievably awful in this film. I thought his performance did not match well with the tone, because he plays Lex Luthor in a very cartoony, over-the-top fashion, when this movie has a very serious, gritty tone. But yet you got Jesse Eisenberg hamming it up. It takes you out of it. It does. Because this movie's trying to be gritty and serious and dramatic, but then you got this fucking guy in here trying to act like he's in a fucking Adam West Batman episode. It takes you right out of it. It doesn't, you might be immersed in what's going on until he shows up. And of course, does the extended cut fix that? No. Let's talk about Batman's character. As much as I liked Ben Affleck's performance, this movie had a complete misunderstanding of Batman as a character. What was Batman's biggest moral code? Yeah, he does not kill. Batman kills a fuck ton of people in this movie. brutally. Like, what does he do? He shoots them, stabs them, throws heavy objects at their heads, killing them instantly, crushing them with his Batmobile, fucking blowing them the fuck up. Everything in this movie he does. And do they explain why Batman is killing people? Nope. He just kills people. I wouldn't have cared as much if they would have had a reason to justify him killing people, but that never happens in this movie. He just kills. Or when he doesn't kill them, he brands them, so when they get sent to prison, they get killed there. That's pretty much like if they get branded by Batman, that's a death sentence. What the hell? And then, of course, I don't know how true this was or not, but then you had Zack Snyder saying if Batman doesn't kill, he's irrelevant as a character. Like, I don't know how Zack Snyder fans see this, but it's clear he doesn't understand the character of Batman. I thought he did well with Superman, but when it comes to Batman, he just totally fucking wrecked his character. It's like more character assassination than what I do when I play the Telltale series. Holy shit. Then you got Doomsday. Doomsday is just... I don't know what the fuck he was supposed to be, but his character design was absolutely stupid. I mean, all he was there for is just the final act, so Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman have something to fight, but... Holy shit. This story is messy. There is no focus in this film at all. You got this plot where Lex Luthor is pitting Batman against Superman, where Batman already had the motive to hate on Superman, but then you got Jesse Eisenberg just fueling it for what? Just to add more conflict that was already there? What else do you have? You got fucking Lois Lane, who's completely pointless in this movie, by the way. You got her trying to do some reporting and shit, and it doesn't really add a whole lot to the plot. And then, of course, you have to have her in the final act so they can keep on saving her. Like, what the fuck? Oh, and let's not forget how they introduced the Justice League. God damn. Like, who thought... Oh, like, I guess they thought, oh, we should have an epic way of introducing the Justice League. And then they were like, nope, let's have the lamest possible way to introduce them. How are they introduced? Through a file on a laptop. Are you fucking kidding me? And then this movie tries to, do some catch up with the MCU by having Superman die at the end, but he's not really dead because it fucking shows it at the end when he's in his coffin and then the fucking dirt starts rising up. I'm like, holy fuck movie. So this is your second, you're 2 movies in, and you're already trying to introduce the Justice League, have Superman die, and then, like, what the fuck? All you had to do is just focus on the conflict between Batman and Superman. That is it. But no, this movie had to shoehorn in a bunch of different things that wasn't fucking necessary. Holy shit. Whoever wrote this, what the fuck's wrong with you? Ugh. Oh, and then let's talk about some certain scenes. I know a bunch of Snyder fans were defending this scene recently, even though it is one of the dumbest things in the history of cinema. How Batman and Superman become allies. Because their mothers have the same name. What kind of writing is that? That is beyond fucking terrible. I guess it's a good thing this movie won worst screenplay at the Razzies. It fucking deserved it. I mean, there was worse screenplays in 2016 than this, but I could see why this won. This movie has one of the dumbest scripts ever in the history of superhero films. And what other thing? You know how I said that this movie has some beautiful visuals at times? Most of this movie looks fucking ugly. It's dark, colorless. Nothing pops out except for a few specific scenes. And this movie was directed by Zack Snyder. That's one of the things he is best at is visuals. I don't know how he dropped the ball on this one because most of the visuals in this movie suck. It's ugly and lifeless. Fuck. Like I said, there are hints of greatness in this movie. There's some awesome action, except for except for the actual fight between Batman and Superman. That was one of the most underwhelming aspects of this movie. It only goes on for maybe 5 minutes? And it ends on one of the dumbest fucking things ever in the history of superhero films. Fuck this movie. I do like aspects of it, but this movie is a massive letdown. But spoiler alert, this is the only movie out of Zack Snyder's trilogy that I don't really like. So take that as you will. It's a very disappointing movie. This movie breathed potential. It breathes it. But there's a difference between potential and reality, as the great Jeremy Jahns says. Yeah, let's just get to it. I'm going to be grading both the theatrical cut and the extended cut, because I will say the extended cut does improve the story quite a bit. It's still messy, but they make it a little more cohesive. And also there's some pretty cool additions to the action scenes, like they show some blood and stuff. It's something minor, but it made the movie a lot more fun, I guess. I am going to give the theatrical version of Batman v Superman a D+. And I'm going to give the ultimate cut of Batman v Superman a C.